Amazing change going on right now in Denver. There's actually one part of our city that's mostly stayed the same.
And we're talking about Larimer Square, an iconic block that has proven to all the naysayers you can reinvent the old into something new. But there's a new vision for the square that is clashing with historians who fought to save it.
Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski tonight is going 360.
This is Denver.
Nothing says Denver quite like Larimer Square.
It's the atmosphere, it's iconic.
Denver's Main Street.
I'm a tourist and I've just arrived. It looks adorable.
Tourists and natives flock here to experience the magic of a place where history has prevailed.
One of my favorite things to show out-of-towners.
Oldest block of buildings, and it is our first historic district.
But as the city we know and love keeps changing,
we're excited to announce a new plan.
The owner of the block now wants to reinvent Larimer Square.
I think that we have an opportunity, because of the significance of this block, to do a transformative project.
With a plan that adds 2 new taller buildings and transforms underutilized, but still historic courtyards. 2 things historic groups are adamantly against.
Pitting the old against the new instead of the old complementing the new.
So let's lay this classic debate out 360 style.
Makes it relevant for 50 years.
Owner Jeff Hermanson's 360 view. It's time to reinvest in the square.
Sets a precedent for other parts of Denver.
This is what the new block from 14th to 15th would look like. If you're having trouble seeing what's changing, look up. Tall buildings are already surrounding the square. Hermanson sees building higher in the alleys behind the block as a way to preserve the history, while also addressing a bigger issue in our city, affordable housing.
The cities that are successful in addressing affordability with housing will be the cities that will succeed.
It allows us to introduce a whole new kind of housing product.
Another upside from supporters of the plan. Green roofs.
Introducing a totally revolutionary way.
The developer's view. This is a way to push Denver's innovation, with the green space being transformed into functional urban farming for the restaurants down below.
Growing sustainable organic food that can be served on the patios at the restaurants here on Larimer Square.
It all sounds great, right? But what about the other side?
We understand we're a growing city and a changing city, but there are other places that are really important to our city and to our cultural history.
Enter Annie Levinsky with Historic Denver.
Right now you have a sense of what Denver really looked like when you came here over 100 years ago, and this would fundamentally alter that.
Her 360 view lays out serious concerns about the plan.
Where will we go to tell our story? Where will we go to visit that authentic part of our past?
As the city's first historic district, she worries building higher will forever change the character of this iconic square and could jeopardize parts of its history. A classic case of the new needs of a city clashing with a native culture that made Larimer Square what it is today.
It requires some partial demolition of existing historic buildings, and that is always a dicey proposition.
So what's next on this 360 journey? Well, because Larimer Square is a historic district, there's a lot of red tape. Any changes to height limits need sign-off from City Council and the Denver Landmark Commission.
Keeping it authentic, keeping it vibrant, and keeping it relevant.
Something the square's owner and developer are fighting for, while opponents say they're fighting to save Denver's oldest block.
This would permanently marry Larimer Square to significantly tall buildings in a way that no one in the future would ever experience it in the same way.
Now, the Lodo District, a membership group in the area, is also against the plan. They wrote this letter to the mayor urging the city to preserve the square's history. If the developer gets all the sign-off it needs, their hope is to start work in 2019. We'll keep you posted, and I want to know your take on the future of this square. Comment on my Facebook page or send us an email at 360@thedenverchannel.com. Shannon?